Men, in this video I'm going to be talking about rest and recovery, but I'm going to be doing so based off the assumption that you work an extremely demanding role 5 days a week for about 8 to 10 hours. Unlike most fitness coaches out there that can train whenever they want and they can eat everything so perfectly in order to optimize their training sessions, and they can do so to recover and repair from them training sessions to get the best results. In the real world, most men cannot do that. So my promise to you, in this video I'm going to be talking you through why you should prioritise rest and recovery, what most people do to get it wrong, what you can do to make some positive changes, and then that'll be it. The importance of rest and recovery is simple. We spend most of the 24 hours in the day in a state of rest, in a state of recovery. So, for example, how many hours do you actually spend in an excruciatingly psychologically demanding situation at work? You know, maybe an hour or maybe 10 minutes a day. So, do you know what I'm saying? So how demanding is your day? How many hours in the day is actually extremely demanding? I have no doubt it's probably time consuming, but we are still in a state of rest. Our body thinks so anyway. Also, this is where our body repairs, recovers, and then grows, gets stronger. Who the hell am I? For those of you that have just joined, my name is Paul Green. I'm an online coach. I run the longevity program. I'm a former British paratrooper and Special Forces support group operator. Over the past decade, I have spent most of my working days training the most elite men across defence, including those in the RAF, the Royal Marines, and the Parachute Regiment. One thing I have noticed is that the older men get in the army, the more responsibility is placed on their shoulders, the more they start fitting into leadership roles. You need to be able to think at a higher level. And finally, you need to be physically fitter than everybody else in that company. The reason being is there is more demands placed on you. You need to be sharper mentally and sharper physically than some of the junior members. It's simple, but in the real world, people tend to use age as an excuse. Gentlemen, not on this channel. So rest and recovery, what typically people do, what you should do, and then see you in a bit. Sound alright? Nice one. So, rest. If you are one of those legends who thinks rest as being asleep in your nice comfortable beds without your missus waking you up or the little one waking you up in the middle of the night, then 10 points, because the best form of rest is sleep. Rest comes from an awareness. It comes from an awareness that you are tired. Sounds so simple, doesn't it? But why do I say this? Because most of you go through the day without any appreciation of the demands that you are placing on your body. Now, bad choices just add to those demands. So it's important that you get this right and actually serve your body so then you are sharper mentally, sharper physically, ready to attack the next day or the next training session. So rest begins with an awareness that the demands that you are currently placing on your body are on the high end. That could be from a couple of hard training sessions. That could be from a couple of hard days at work. But it has to be considered, and it starts with that awareness. Recovery is the process you put in place to serve that. Do you understand? So I'd like to hope that the process of your recovery from this video is going to be a lot more productive in serving you rather than destroying you. Okay, With that little overview, I'm going to talk about what most men in highly demanding job roles do to recover from their day job and their training sessions. I'm laughing, and you should be probably laughing yourself because, oh my God. So what do men do that is terrible to unwind from an extremely physically or mentally demanding line of work? So the first one that I have seen a lot of is alcohol. A lot of men use alcohol as an instantaneous buffer in order just to numb out that high level of stress. Very common, very instantaneous. Another one is very unhealthy food choices. And the food choices are usually the ones that are high in fats, high in sugar, something that will give you an instant hit of happy hormones. Another thing would be drugs, marijuana. Another thing, which I probably think is the worst out of the lot of them, is doing nothing. I'm blowing bubbles here. Doing nothing. So that the first three, you've got alcohol, awful choices of food, and drugs. With them three, at least you appreciate that you as a man need to unwind. The person that does nothing doesn't even have that appreciation. Now, of course, I'm an online coach. I'm promoting optimization of your physical and mental performance. But at least you appreciate the fact that you need to unwind in order to completely operate at your what you perceive as being your best tomorrow. That is a step in the right direction. However, bad food choices cause more demands on your body, inflammation. Drugs, marijuana increase your estrogen levels, reduce your testosterone levels. Alcohol, same detail. Bad for your liver, all that stuff. Not getting into that on this video. Doing nothing is somebody that doesn't appreciate the demands that they're going through their body. So even though they aren't placing the extra demands on their body, it's a little bit of a deeper issue. What can you do to make some positive changes in your life? So first thing, right, is the awareness piece. Being aware that you have just had an absolutely brutal day, and then you've had 3 hours with the family, and you are spent. So how I program this for my men on the longevity program is I allocate sessions, green, amber or red. And what I do is I give the men on my program the autonomy to select the green, amber and red session based off the amount of stress that they have went through that day. How the hell can you bring that into your own life? Well, what it requires is you understanding what a green session would look like for you, what an amber session would look like for you, and what a red session would look like for you. What else could you be doing to improve your recovery? Firstly, prioritizing sleep. Getting rid of technology out of the bedroom and then giving yourself a little 30 minutes pre-sleep routine, reading a book, reading a magazine, writing something on your notebook about what you're going to do the next day. Secondary, hydration levels, making sure you are getting plenty of water, not fizzy drink, not alcohol, plenty of water in your body every single day. And what I mean by that, why that's important, is because without water, your body will be terrible at transporting nutrients around the body. What else can you be doing in order to recover? Protein intake. If you're not eating enough protein, it doesn't matter anything else you do, your cells will not be able to repair. So protein intake is third on that priority list. Getting plenty of protein in. You want to be aiming to get a little bit of protein in every single meal. Number 4, getting strong. I don't know what it is about a lot of men over 40 that are entering the physical training world, but they tend to go and favour endurance, and it's a terrible idea. Strength should be the priority, and the reason strength should be the priority is because greater strength will improve the structure of your joints. It will improve the resilience of your joints, and it will get rid of lower back issues, knee issues, elbow issues, and allow you to increase your capacity for craziness for the next decade or 2 decades or 3 decades. Without that strength, all these joint issues are just going to keep creeping into your lives. Lastly, aerobic fitness. So if you have a greater aerobic fitness level, your body will be able to get more energy from oxygen. And that sounds mental, but we train this by training our aerobic energy system. Like I said earlier on, when we are in this state of rest, that is our body in an aerobic energy system. The greater our aerobic energy system operates, the more energy we have at rest. And the more energy we have available, and we're producing more energy, the body will repair itself better. Notice how the 5 things that I've just said didn't include stretching, spas, plunge pools, cryotherapy rooms, infrared saunas. This is all reactive. Them 5 things that I've just said, they are all proactive. Being proactive will improve your capacity to absorb more stress, either mental stress and physical stress, in order for you to operate at a high level. Gentlemen, a summary of this video. Rest starts with an awareness that you are getting to your limit, either mentally or physically. Recovery is the process in which you already have in place or you put in place in order to get yourself back to where you need to be. Typically, men are reactive. Typically, they use alcohol as a reactive measure in order to de-stress, unhealthy foods, or drugs. The optimized way is to be proactive. It's to add a few things into your day. Prioritize sleep, prioritize hydration, prioritize protein intake, prioritize getting strong, and prioritize training your aerobic fitness. Obviously, my little nugget that was in this video was utilizing a green, amber, and red system and allocating green, amber, and red sessions into your monthly schedule. When you have an extremely excruciating day at work, do a green session. When you have an average day at work, do an amber session. And when you have an easy day at work, do a red session. We, as men, we have a limit on the amount of stress our body can absorb in a day. We only can collect a certain amount of stress before we crumble into a mess of making horrendously bad decisions. Take that green, amber, and red system away with you and bring it into your own lives. If you want me to do anything for you, then the links are in my channel, and yes, you can apply for the next intake of the longevity program. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Rest and recovery. See you tomorrow.